afternoon, it's Pamela from Yorkshire in the north of England, here to talk about crochet. Now, I've been missing for a while. When I was on last week, I forgot to tell you that we were having decorators in at the end of the week to do the sitting room and the downstairs toilet. So I couldn't just come in and out of here all the time, so totally forgot to tell you that. So I knew I would be missing at the end of the week. Then I've been a bit slack this week, to be honest. Firstly, you'll notice I've still got the tooth. I didn't get to the dentist. I set off in the car after scraping off what felt like an inch of ice, which it wasn't an inch, but it felt like I had to get a lot off. Slipped and slid round the car while I was doing it. Managed to get out of the space all right. Went to the end of our estate, first major junction, and I skidded a bit. So I turned round very slowly and I came back home and I rang them and said I'm not coming. It's taken, I had to leave a message. Obviously they were short staffed as well, so I would imagine there's not a lot of people got in. And so I had to wait till this week till I could actually get through to them to book an actual appointment again. So I'm not in till next Wednesday, so I might still be having this tooth out, but anyway, we'll see what they say. So that's me caught up with why I've been missing really, and what hasn't happened that should have happened. My other thing is they've now said, rheumatology have said I haven't got the condition that they all thought I had. So this is opticians, dentists, osteopath, GP, all thought I had Sjogren's disease, and I certainly look like I have all the symptoms, but rheumatology insists that my readings are not high enough. So I'm glad that I haven't got it, but it still leaves me with unanswered questions as to why I feel like I do, like I said, dry skin, dry eyes, dry nose, all that. All obviously leads to the nosebleeds. Then I get anemic and I'm tired all the time. So they have suggested going on to iron all the time, and they've also recommended I forget what else they recommended actually, it were on tip of my tongue then, but anyway, all stuff that's easily done. So we're on with that. Also having more blood pressure problems, so I've gone on to yet another medication, and we are now doing another fortnight's reading, so fingers crossed we'll come out at the end of it okay. You can only go with what they say, and that's what they say. I don't want a condition, I don't want an autoimmune disease, but you know, there must be a reason why I feel like I do. Anyway, that's that for now. Right, so I left you and I started an amigurumi. It's one that I wanted to do. I abandoned the Lucky Dip one, by the way, because having already done a puffin, I thought I'm not going to do another puffin, going along with my rules that I've created myself this year, because I don't need another puffin. I have actually pulled out of the hat a red panda, and I've discarded the rest because I've decided they all don't fall within my 3 categories that I was mentioning after Christmas. So I will be doing the red panda at some time, because that is something I do want to do. But a while ago there was an item that I wanted to do from a Crochet Now magazine. I can't tell you which Crochet Now because I can't read it from here, but it's the 7th of November issue, and it's got a lady with a pink jumper on. It's that one there. And the item is, I don't know how you say it properly, it's called a woodland woolpertinger. And it's a Bavarian mythical creature. It's a cross between a rabbit with the antlers of a deer and the wings of a pheasant, which I thought was quite appropriate with the, with me doing a pheasant for the By Hook or By Crook challenge. And that's the picture of the woolpertinger. Now, really keen to do it, but as I was saying to you, I've not been feeling the amigurumi. I got the head done, I got the body done, got the arms, which are an odd shape. That put me off it a bit. I thought you've overcomplicated this, but I've put them on. This collar type thing that you have, I did one of the legs, and then I thought I've had enough of you. So it's gone back in the bag for a while. This is the one that I had all those browns for that I was going to use, and so it's going to stay there just for as long as it takes. I'll come back to it, I know I will, because I've got so far with it, I'm going to want to finish it, but I just don't want to do it now. So I have started a blanket. You know, one of the things I want to do this year is more household items. Now the blanket is the wool I've put aside. I've got enough wool for, I think I said 2 blankets. I'm sure it's 2. I'm sure it is 2. But as opposed to 3. Now this one is for a single sized blanket, and it's using an Aran yarn, which is fine because the yarn I put aside was Aran, and it's the Forest Aran crochet ripple blanket. It's 45 inches by 65 inches, which is like I say a single bed size, but it also does as a sofa throw. I'm actually trying to make mine 5 foot by 5 foot. I'm almost there. It's just short of the 5 foot along, so that's fine, is that? But that's it there. So I'm not doing as many colour changes as that because I'll show you the yarn I've got. That's a free pattern, by the way. If you just search, I'll look for it and put it below. Very easy pattern. There's a 4-row repeat, but it's very, very easy. I did have to frog it out though once because my stitch count went out. That's the only thing to watch out for, because it doesn't make sense. The one at the beginning of the pattern row, the one that's got the actual pattern in it, you don't actually use your first chain, even though it says 2 chains counts as a stitch at the beginning of a row, whereas 1 chain doesn't. It doesn't in this at all. So where you think you've got 4 stitches to do, you've only got 3. Is it that side there? I think it's this side here. Yeah, you start with a 2 chain, and then you've got 1 triple crochet, which is double crochet in the US, and then 2 triple crochets together, and that counts as 3, even though it tells you in the pattern 2 chains will count as 1 stitch. So I don't like how it phrases that, but it took me a while to work out that that's what it had done. So, and then I were happy, then I went away. So this is mine, and like I say, it's just short of 5 foot wide, and it's coming out with a nice little ripple stitch. It's a lot of double crochets, which is single crochets in the US. You also do one of the double crochet rows in the back loop, so you get like a little ridge. And like I say, it's only 4 rows, 3 of them double crochets, one of which is in the back loops, and a row of the pattern. So, and you come out with this lovely ripple, and it's easy, but enough interest in it to keep it, you know, you're interested in it. So I'll show you which yarn I'm using. Now I got this yarn when I first went to the Stylecraft mill sale, and I got six balls of this. They're 100-gram balls, and I worked it out eventually. It's Stylecraft Amore. It's now discontinued, but lovely colours. There were 6 balls, so you got 600 grams, and I paid £6 for that. And I'm pretty sure you had to pay at least that for 1 ball when you bought it. The only thing is, when I bought this, I didn't realise that 60-40 meant it was 60 acrylic and 40 wool, because I wasn't up on it then. When I first went to one at mill sales, it was when I was very new back to crochet. So but somebody will love this, you know, somebody who likes wool. And then with it, I bought this. This is showing how long ago it is that I got these, because I bought the yarn to go with it, the Aran yarn to go with it from Mariners, who are also discontinued. So I got 2 of each of these colours to go with it. I've since realised the red is a little bit too red for it, but I don't care. I think they'll look fine. What I'm going to do is I'm doing 2 balls, 12, however long that takes me, of the coloured ones, and then because I've got 2 of each of these, I'm then going to put 1 ball of that, 1 ball of the red, and 1 ball of the beige, and then that, to me, that will then not be next to this colour and hopefully won't look as odd. So there'll be like 2 lots of bands of those, and when I've measured that bottom one, I think that will give me again nearly 60 inches, and so it will be nearly 5 by 5 foot, if any of that makes sense. So I think I've got plenty there to do that. If I don't, I'll have to get another colour to do a border or something like that. So that's how much I've got out of nearly 1 ball. So I think it will work out just fine. That is nearly 5 inches. So like I say, when I've added up all those bands that I'll be putting in, that will come to nearly 5 foot. So that's good. I hope that makes sense what I said I'm doing. I'm really enjoying it. Once I got it from back and I knew what I was doing with that missing bit, I'm quite happy then. So I think that's all I need to say on that one. I won't show you everything again, I'll just keep showing you my progress on it. It might get put to one side while I do something else, because you know this is what we like, aren't we? Now, the only thing I managed to do, apart from a bit on that amigurumi while the decorators was here, was my square, which I did put on Instagram last week. I did that while I went to sit upstairs. Unfortunately, as planned, failed really, because Nick had the time off while the decorators were in, and we were supposed to be going out to look at things that we needed, you know, to update certain bits in the house. And obviously the weather prevented us from going out, so we only went to essential stuff, like I had the doctor's appointment and what have you, and then we ended up holing up in the bedroom really while the decorator were doing his thing. And we we were just catching stuff up on the television that we'd recorded over Christmas and what have you. And I did a bit of crochet, what I could do while I was sat on a bed. I prefer to have like armrests, you know, when I'm crocheting. But I did do the square. So the square for last week for the Year of Granny Square Cow was 23 Jewel Garden, and I think that's a really pretty square. I found it really nice to do, really enjoyed it. I did mine in similar colours, except for the outside I did it in a green, because I thought I had a lot of squares with a blue outside, or that's what it looked like. So I've done that, and I really like that. And even though you've got where you do your slip stitches at the back, I still think the back looks pretty. So yeah, really like that one. Really nice to do. I think it was a beginner one. And then I've just started last night, because I normally have these done on a Thursday, but I didn't start this week's until last night. And this week's is Summer's Cauldron, which is that one. And I'm nearly there. I'm on the next to last row, and I'm doing mine in those colourways. So yeah, I'll have that done soon. I'll do that this afternoon. So that is that. I think that's me up to date with all these things. I also have done a very, very tiny yarn haul, and it is tiny. It's just 3 balls. I've got 3 balls of this King Cole, and it's King Cole Geezer cotton, which I really liked using when we did the Christmas extravaganza in July last year. I did some household items with the King Cole Geezer. It's a 4-ply. This one's, I don't know whether it's new what they've brought out, but it's sorbet where it's multicoloured, and this one's called Toffee. Now I've bought 3 of these. I don't know if I need 3, but I've been wanting to, when I saw KS Mom Crochets was doing like table runners, it's something I've wanted to do for a while, and she's given me the push to get on with it really by seeing her lovely items. I'm not ready to use a thread. I don't know whether I'd ever have the dexterity to use a thread, but I definitely want to have a go at this in 4-ply. And the one I've chosen is this one. I can't remember where I got it, but it was free. I'll find it though. I'll find it again. And it's called a table runner for Thanksgiving, and that's the one I'm going to do. So I'll put a link below, and what I was going to say to you, and I mean it's entirely up to you, but I'm going to have a go at that. And if you want to get some yarn that you've already got and get that free pattern and have a go with me, then, you know, please do. I'd be lovely to see what you want to do, what you'll do with yours if you want to have a go at it. So I'll just link it to below, and then you can decide if you want to have a go. I did look at using some just to try it out with some of mine, but I don't think I had enough of any one colour, so that's why I've gone with the 3. So hopefully it'll work out okay, and that'll be perfect to put it in on here where I sit now. It's like my dining table. Hopefully that'll be okay for all year round. I have a Christmas one that I bring out, but that one will be for all year round. So that is that. Now my next bit is the Suffragette segment. Now there's not been much doing this week, but there is something today. So on Friday the 17th in 1908, like I said before, if you don't want to listen to this, don't. The suffragettes chained themselves to the Downing Street railings. Now, the reason why this is interesting. Now, I've had to do a bit of looking up and research for this because I couldn't find it in my other book. So I've had to have a look, and I think I've got the event that they're talking about there. And it was this incident here where they're... it says, in the early 1900s, New left... Oh, sorry, I ought to say first, sorry, I'm talking about Edith New, this lady here. This lady. Yeah, she was born in 1877, by the way, and died in 1951. So New left her teaching career and began working as an organiser and campaigner for the Women's Social and Political Union, the WSPU. She travelled around England speaking to groups about the women's movement, and in January 1908, so I'm sure this has got to be this one that's in there, New and Olivia Smith, another lady, changed themselves to the railings of 10 Downing Street, shouting votes for women. Now this is where the interesting connection to my last segment comes in, because this was to create a diversion for their fellow suffragettes Flora Drummond, who I covered last time, and Mary MacArthur to sneak in before being arrested. And I think it said in that one that I mentioned last week that, you know, she had gone into 10 Downing Street. Let me just have another look and see if I can find it. If I can find her again. Should have left a thing, shouldn't I? Yes, so Flora Drummond there. So it said about her. Oh. Yeah. Oh, it said she served 3 weeks for chaining herself to the railings of number 10 Downing Street. So that must be the same incident. So anyway, so this where Edith New and Olivia Smith chained themselves to the railings was to create a diversion for the fellow suffragettes Flora Drummond and Mary MacArthur to sneak in before being arrested. In June 1908, during a protest, no, it's not the same incident. Oh, but it sort of relates because it's still 10 Downing Street. So later on that year, in June 1908, during a protest, New and another suffragette, Mary Lee, broke 2 windows at 10 Downing Street, and they were arrested and sentenced to 2 months in prison at Holloway. And that was the first incident where they were arrested and convicted for vandalism. So that is just a little segment about what happened on this day in 1908. I hope you are interested, but it is funny how the names keep popping up. So like that is the only second one I've looked at from this diary, and it links to the one that I've already mentioned, Flora Drummond, so there you go. But they're all brave women, and we all love them for what they did for us, I'm sure. So that is me finished for now. I will be back probably beginning, no, I've got an appointment on Monday, maybe Tuesday, and I'll but until then, have a really good weekend, and happy crafting, and I'll see you.